Welcome to the Gaming Outsider. This week we got a very special guest, and I'm very excited to welcome him to the show. Chris Dattoli is a professional voice actor who has done extensive work in films, commercials, and yes, video games. We're going to pick his brain to learn what makes the craft of voice acting an art. In news, Microsoft has given us the official name of their next piece of gaming hardware. As for new games, Jacob played Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. You'll also hear Zach's impressions of Legacy of Kain Defiance, as well as the early access version of Hive on PC. Finally, Mark and Joel stop by to tell us about iRacing Arcade and a port simulation game called Dot. This, Gaming Outsider. Greetings, programs, and welcome to the Gaming Outsider, a video game podcast with a focus on our incredible community, which can be found at thegamingoutsider.com. We've also got a community at facebook.com/groups/the GoCast, and even a Discord server. You can find a link for that in the show notes of this very episode. It is Monday, March 9th. I'm your host, Scott Clark, and joining me are my good friends, Mr. Zach Parkerson. Zach, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. Here to talk about some art.
Let's do it. Also, Jacob Gunderson.
Welcome to the Gaming Outsider, where the news is scripted and the reviews don't matter.
Was that a Who's Line reference?
I can get away with two of them, right?
Sure, why not? Why not?
Okay.
Unfortunately, CB is working tonight, so he is not available to be here. But guess what, guys? We got a very special guest. I'm so excited to introduce to you voice actor for films, commercials, and yes, video games, including Identity 5, Arma 3, Stalker Alpha, and Kansu Fighter. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Mr. Chris Dattoli. Chris, how are you, sir?
Good. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Oh, we are stoked, man. We've got some friends in the voice acting world. Our very first convention we held, we had Sissy Jones and Courtney Taylor and Melissa Hutchison as our guests, and they came and signed autographs and everything. So we've got a little bit of inside of how that works, but we are definitely looking forward to talking to you about how it is an art. It's really exciting. But we're here to talk about games. Let's talk about the games that you've been playing this past week. What have you been playing?
So I've been playing, just wrapped up and beat Ghost of Yote.
Nice.
I was a fool and played it on the hard mode, so I died a lot.
Now you're trying to prove something? Trying to prove your samurai honor?
You know what? I grew up in the old age where, like, when you died, you had to restart the level all over again, and we got a lot of passwords. So, like, the auto-saving still, like, if I put it on the hard difficulty, I feel like, maybe I get a little bit of youth back. I don't. I just proves I'm so out of practice. So, I just beat that, and now I'm playing Silent Hill 2 Remake. So, and I'm a horror game kid. Well, I'm all kind of game kid, but I don't know if I should say kid, but, I'll say young adult.
There you go.
So
you were in for a treat with Silent Hill 2, man. That remake is outstanding. I think Zach and I both love that one, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's great. Did you play the original, Chris?
I did. Yeah, I played. I still to this day haven't beat the first one. I got halfway through, and I think I got stuck at a puzzle, and I couldn't solve it. And this is back before game FAQs. When you had to go out and get the strategy guide. So
I would pony up the dough.
Yeah, I would go to Electronic Boutique, go like peruse the games, and go over to the strategy guide section, read and how to beat a game, and then go back home and beat it.
Well done.
That is good.
Well, don't worry, they're remaking that one next, so you'll finally have your moment.
All right, can't wait.
All right, Jake, how about you, sir? What have you been catching up on?
I feel like we just traded up Chris's. Like we traded one Chris for another Chris, and this one's better.
Well, major improvement.
Right, glow up over here.
This is where we find out if CB was actually listening to the show or
not. I have been playing Incursion Red River. I mean, this is after I was done with another game that we're going to be talking about later, so I only played a couple of hours. But there was a major update in the game, and they wiped everyone's data in this game. For the update, and so I was unhappy to see that my horde. It's an extraction shooter, so you have to go through the mission and then actually make it to the exit with all of the stuff alive. And if you die, you lose all the stuff that you had. So
that's how an extraction shooter works, right?
Well, I mean, you lose everything. So then you have to go back and either buy stuff again or go through the game again and whatever. And after I think I have like 40 hours into the game, I lost everything and have to start over. So no, I don't like that.
Is it an early access then?
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
I don't think no.
That's the risk of early access is they're going to wipe your data like 7 times and you're gonna get upset 7 times.
I mean, that's most games now, though. Unfortunately.
So did you start over then, or
Yes, I did.
okay? So they've got you, is what you're saying.
Oh, I love the game. The
Okay.
game is great, but yeah, deleting all my stuff is a no.
Not that big a
What
no-no.
happened?
No,
Good plan.
no, I still play.
That's
I checked out a game. I made the mistake of starting to add games to my wish list on Xbox, which is
Oh, it's a Xbox.
is proving. I know I've got a wish list on Steam too. Don't get me wrong.
It's like 3
But-
games big though.
Right. Let's go look real quick.
Oh, my
keep
wish
chatting.
list.
Yeah, keep chatting. I'll look at your wish list. It's okay.
No, my wish list is very small. I will admit it, but
I know. I'm gonna go look at it. Hold on.
a trailer for this game and it just looked kind of interesting, and then I got an email saying it went on sale for like $6 or $7. So I picked it up. The game is called Under Defeat. It is a shmup, not a shmucross, but a shmup
Shmround.
as a helicopter. But this game does something interesting with its mechanics in that you not only have the ability to fire, whatever direction you're facing, but if you stop firing and you move the stick, it now tilts the helicopter left or right based on which way you're going. So it's an added thing where you're used to just holding down the fire button on a shmup, and in this case you have to actually release it to be able to tilt your aim to a different spot, which is I've not seen it before. It looked interesting, and then I realized after I purchased it that it's a straight up port of an arcade game. Like it's hardcore arcade. Like it's got the one up, press insert coin. Like it's very much an arcade game, but it's interesting. It's very Japanese, which I feel like most Japanese shmups are very bullet hell, and this one is a little bit more manageable. It definitely wants my quarters. I say that in quotes, but I don't know. It's pretty interesting. The other thing I've fallen prey to is games that I already own on Xbox going on sale for stupid cheap on Switch, because it was becoming my I'm really liking the Switch 2 very much. So I picked up Undermine, which is, if you guys remember, was one of my favorite games of the year that came out, and I started picking away at that again, and I just fell right back into it, and I'm absolutely loving that. So that's been great. But the thing that I really put the most amount of time in this week, which I know I'm not alone, is I finally rolled credits on Resident Evil Requiem, actually yesterday afternoon. Boy, what a game that was!
Yeah.
Wow,
this
you
is
already.
Yeah, I could not put it down the weekend that it came out. And it is just I wanted to play it all week. I couldn't. I had report cards due on Friday, and I was super busy. But this weekend came, and I was like, I got to sit down and get back to this. And it is what a game. Zach, you finished it as well, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah. So it is a great Resident Evil for sure.
Now,
Go
ahead.
I was saying, I think the story, towards the end, gets into that standard Resident Evil gobbledygook where I'm like, I don't care about any of this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I do care that Leon, Scott Kennedy, and Grace Ashcroft are cool. So that's good enough for me. But whenever they start talking about like bioorganic weapons, I'm like, I just glaze over. And I'm like, give me the next thing to shoot and feel cool about.
And that game definitely delivers in that respect. I'm curious how you feel about this, though, because one of the things that you have kind of notoriously despised in games like this is when they do what you call a victory lap of their older games.
Oh,
and this
yeah,
game
sure.
definitely does that, I think. It just doesn't do it as in your face. But what's your take on what they did with this in terms of callbacks to the previous games in the series?
Yeah, I mean, I think the worst offender is Avengers Endgame, just to give people a point of reference where, like, that movie is celebrating something that like only happened 10 years ago, as though like it's this long loved history. And it really just annoyed me because it was just basically 2.5 hours of that. Resident Evil Requiem is, for the most part, much lower key about it.
Okay.
Right. I mean, but there was one boss fight that was definitely a little eye rolly.
Okay.
Where you kind of repeat a boss from Resident Evil 2. I don't want to give anything away, but that was
okay.
the only time where I really stopped and I was like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
But otherwise, I thought they handled it, fairly well. It's also been 30 years, right? So
Right.
they're calling back to a long time ago, and for the most part, the franchise does not do that.
It's the only time I remember really doing that.
Yeah, like they, I think. There's like a cheeky umbrella logo at some point in Resident Evil Village, right? But it's like that's about it.
That was really the only tie to Resident Evil
Yeah.
for most
So,
of the game.
So they've always been. I think they've always been good about that, right?
Yes, I'm
so
curious.
They get one.
We're gonna obviously we don't want to delve into spoilers at all, but we have talked about doing a spoiler cast to kind of discuss this game in depth about everything that happened. But there's a couple different things that can happen at the end, and I'm curious, and I'm going to be vague here. Did you take the
I'm going to be vague here. Did you shoot the zombie with the one thing that goes pew pew?
No, it's not that. It's not that obvious. Did you take the man? Have you seen both ways of what can happen?
If you're, I think yes.
Okay.
What?
Did you take the good one or the bad one?
Oh my god!
What? Okay, what are we doing here?
Fast forward 60 seconds or 30 seconds for the lightest. I'm talking the lightest Resident Evil spoilers. Are you talking about the bad ending and the good ending?
Yes. Don't tell me what it is. Yeah.
No, I'm not going to. That's why I said the lightest of the light.
Okay. Yeah.
I got the bad ending first because it seemed quite obvious that was the wrong thing to do, and I thought it would be fun to see what happened.
Sorry.
You're kidding. No.
Interesting. I did the same thing.
Yeah, because it just Resident Evil doesn't usually have that option, so I was like, well, this has to be silly then,
right?
And it was pretty melodramatic. Good stuff.
The game.
It was good stuff.
It's a very good game.
The thing I love about this game is that they've really nailed something that I've really grown to enjoy in games in general, is that you're not doing the same thing for a super long period of time. They do this with the two characters. You play as Grace and then you play as Leon. And at the beginning of the game, it's like, I want to do more Leon. These Leon segments are so short. And then they kind of flip-flop that around in the back end. But eventually you're going back and forth so much. And then other interesting things happen. And, there are different gameplay moments where you're doing one gameplay deal for this short period of time and then never doing it again. I love it when games do that. And this one just did that multiple times. And I just this is going to be a tough one to beat for a while. This is a really, really solid game. Yeah,
that was great. It's not quite a Resident Evil 2 or 4, but then again, what could be?
Exactly.
I don't think anything could come up to the original Resident Evil 2.
Dude, it's so good. The remake was really great too.
Mm-hmm. You know what I didn't like about the remake, if I may interject.
Oh, please. No, it's a conversation.
What I loved about the original Resident Evil 2 is it doesn't matter if you started off as Leon or Claire, it didn't matter. Like their stories were intertwined. So obviously, if you started with Leon, you met with Claire in the STARS office, and if you started with Claire, you met Leon in the hallway. So like it wasn't connected. But with Resident Evil 2, it felt like two separate worlds. Like the only time they interacted was when they're at the police station, that one time. And then everything else was like a completely separate world, which I didn't like that. I liked how in the second one, the original, like they were connected. Like if you press the button, you need the second character at the end of the game to play it. You press the button again, you got the machine gun. Or you had to go pick up Sherry from the train station when she was infected so Claire can go fight one of the guys. I think it was William. Before he was on the train, like you know what I mean, like it was like it was interconnected. This one not so much. And
you're right. That was a huge change for sure.
And that it was still a great game. Don't get me wrong, but that I really wish it connected it more.
I get you're too attached. You're too attached to the original story. I understand.
I guess so. Yeah. I guess. But I did play the remake of Resident Evil 4, and they did an amazing job with it.
They did. Yeah. I mean, it's like they changed the tone a little bit, right? It's a little more serious, and Leon has like a proper character arc in the remake.
Yeah.
But that makes it so like I still want to play the original Resident Evil 4 because it's so goofy sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
And those lines are present in Requiem as well too.
Oh, Leon one-liners.
Yes. Yeah. The Leon lines are hilarious. I mean, and they're so Capcom-y. I think is between this and Devil May Cry 5.
Dude.
The lines are just crazy. So anyway, Resident Evil Requiem. I know CB beat it as well. So this is one that all three of us have completed in a week, and it is solid. What a game. Oh. What else, Zach?
Yeah, I mean, a quick question for you, though, Scott. Who's bringing the marshmallows? Because I'm bringing the fire.
That's the line from Devil May Cry 5.
No.
Dude, I want to give a shout out to Aaron Builds here in the chat because he says, "Sup fam, in the hospital, but still here for the best show of the week." And it's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah,
Hey.
thanks. Hope you're okay, man. I actually saw that message and I texted him to find out if he's okay. So hope he's doing all right. But I love that.
You are a better friend than me. I saw it, was like, oh, well, that sucks.
He saw it. He's like, "I hope you can still afford the Patreon, Bill." Yes. Anyway, as for me, I blasted through Mirror's Edge.
Wow.
Because this game is like 3 hours long. So I just accidentally beat it one day.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Accidentally.
It's still
it's a speed running. It's like a game about speed running. Like
right. Yeah. And though I've probably not played it in 15 years, I was remarkably decent at it still.
Nice. Like that muscle memory. It's just like getting back on a bike.
Yeah. Well, and then like, sections where you gotta like find a quick path or whatever. I was like, oh man, I'm having a memory of like, oh, up and to the left. Oh yeah, there's a shortcut right there. That was kind of fun. The story still garbage.
Is it?
It's always bad though.
Did you ever play the second one?
No, I didn't, because they did a weird thing where they're like, hey, I know that first game only came out like 6 years ago, but we're rebooting it.
Right.
That was
in a way
so
that was
weird.
not fun.
Yeah, that was. I mean, narratively reboot. It's so strange. And then you find out that one of the big twists of the second game is that she has a twin sister. I'm like, yeah, man, that is the character. Yeah, it's really weird. Anyway, no, I never played the second one.
Spoiler alert. Oh,
I don't care.
Yeah,
Right.
Nobody cares.
I don't care.
Sorry for people going to a Mirror's Edge game from 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I do.
Nobody played those games for story. Let's be honest.
No, but it has a strong set of mechanics that I would like to see somebody like kick it up and do like a truly great game, like use those mechanics for telling a cool story.
Yeah,
but such as it is, Faith's a cool character. And then I also started Oceanhorn: Monster of Uncharted Seas for a little bit of a Zelda fix. And this game is pretty shameless in ripping off the Legend of Zelda.
Yeah. Now that was originally on phone, right? Yeah,
originally a mobile game. Then you went to Switch and PS4. I have the PS4 disc copy. But yeah, I mean it's a pretty solid Zelda. It's really weird that you don't control the boat when you're sailing around Wind Waker style. It's like on rails, and you have these little on-rail shooter segments while it's sailing around.
That's weird. Okay.
That feels like such a mobile game energy to me, of like we need to occupy your brain at all times. But other than that, it's a very strong Zelda.
It looks like a mobile game. It's got like the coloring aspect of like a mobile game.
For sure. And the way, like, when you cast spells, that's what it's the most obvious it's a mobile game, because you just have to like move a giant cursor around the screen because you don't have a touch screen anymore. But as long as you know what you're getting into, it is a fun attempt at a Zelda. And yeah, I'm having a really good time with it. Although, do you talk about like shameless? Yeah, I went to the fish people land, right? The Gill folk, not the Zora.
The Zoras, yeah. Okay.
And you wouldn't believe it, Scott, but the whole domain is frozen over.
No way. Is there like a princess like that needs rescuing and the king sitting on a nice waterfall?
I haven't encountered the princess quite yet, but it was unreal when I got to that area, and I was like, you gotta at least do your own. You gotta at least do one spin of your own.
It's really hot and it's steamy here.
Yeah, that would at least. Oh man, it's just sauna in there. We can't survive. Like that would at least be a twist on it, right?
The water is on fire.
And you're making me want to go back and play Ocarina again.
Yeah, tremendous game.
It is
the top 3 Zelda Ocarina of Time, right up there with Majora's Mask and Star Fox Adventures Dinosaur Planet.
You just love sticking those barbs in me, don't you?
I love Star Fox.
All right, well, that's the games we've been catching up on. Let's go ahead now and jump into the week's news. Quite a few stories to talk about this week. First off, we have another developer diary on 007 First Light. Can you tell we're excited about this game? Also, a game called Cozy Game Restoration. This one's got Jake written all over it. Echo Breaker, a lightning-fast precision speedrunner coming to PC via Steam in 2026. Super Basketball Classics featuring the Harlem Globetrotters. It's a retro-style game coming soon to PC and consoles. Also, Hearth and Hamlet. It's a medieval city builder coming to PC that has a playable demo arriving on April 20th. In other news, the Highguard saga has officially come to a close. It seems.
Yeah.
Why are we applauding
My
that?
bad.
It seems PlayStation's PC Gambit didn't quite work out. Also, Project Helix was announced by Xbox, and what the hell is Taeyon up to? Chris, you are our guest, sir. You get choice of stories. What would you like to talk about?
Ooh, don't mind if I do. Let me start with the PlayStation's PC Gambit and how it didn't work out.
First off, that is the most excited anybody has ever been to choose a news story.
I
really love that.
I wouldn't believe him. He is a professional actor.
That's true.
Right.
That's true. So yes, unfortunately, PlayStation will no longer be porting their exclusive single-player games to PC. Multiplayer and live service titles will still make the jump, as will PlayStation published titles that were not developed internally. We kind of already knew PlayStation's more recent PC ports, such as God of War Ragnarok, didn't sell very well. And there's also internal concerns that this strategy is cutting into console sales. This is, depending on how you look at it, I think this is a bummer news. I mean, obviously, as a gamer, I want more people to be able to play more games, right? But apparently Sony did not think that this was financially viable, which is weird to me. I mean, the thing is they don't want to release PC games day and date with a console, because the superior version is going to be on PC, presumably, as long as it works. Remember Last of Us Part 1? That whole debacle?
Don't get too excited about it. We're being the best version now.
Right. But, in the end, it's going to have the higher, what do you call I don't know what a
Fidelity.
PC guy. Fidelity.
We are the PC master race.
Yes. But so you don't want to cut into your sales at that point. And by the time it gets there, by the time it comes to Steam, the game's already, like 9 months or a year out. And then if people really want to play it, they've already played it on PlayStation. And if it's on Steam, they're like, I'll wait for a sale.
Yeah.
Because that's what Steam is all about. So I could see it not being financially viable for them, because there's no good time to release it. But it just still is such a bummer. I know it's not as easy as copy and paste. Just put it on PC. There's a lot more that goes into it. But what do you guys think?
Well, I want to know what Chris thinks. Having selected the story.
Yeah.
It's shocking when they say it's not financially suitable for him or profitable for him. I'm trying to think the right words. I'm an Italian from the Jersey Shore, so to find the right words without cussing, I'm trying to say, I think it's silly of them not to do that. You're going to open up a world of so many gamers, and to just shut it down, it just dumb. And so a big company like Sony, you would think like they would take advantage of this or something, right?
Yeah.
We're all picturing in our heads what word you really wanted to say and all that.
There's 26 words in the English vocabulary. I'm sure if you put a few together, as you can see, I move my hands around a lot because I am Italian. I'll get more passionate about it.
Yeah, you're right. You remind me of my uncle right now.
My hands might not be on screen, but I talk with my hands all the time, so don't feel bad.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it probably does cut into console sales a little bit, but I wouldn't imagine too much, because the PC gamers I've met are pretty staunchly PC.
Yeah,
it's almost a part of their identity.
Right.
So I'm sure there is like a fraction of people who would like I just got to play God of War Ragnarok today. I'm sure those people do exist. It's hard to believe it's that many. Although I can't argue with the data that we saw with the that Insomniac leak a couple years ago, where the PC sales aren't super good. But I also just think that there's so much competition on Steam anyway. To like cut through that noise is probably hard. Yeah. And I'm sure those first wave exclusives just got the bump of the novelty of like, whoa, PlayStation's exclusives are on PC. Right. Then, once the novelty wears off, I don't see why you wouldn't just do it anyway, just for the extra small income.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm sure everybody who already had the PlayStation exclusives didn't buy them again on PC. And so, of course, you wouldn't have seen sales. So yeah, they were bad because you're not going to buy them again. I already have it on one.
Right.
I have been staring at No Man's Sky for years because I already own it on PlayStation.
I'm sure
But I don't
PlayStation also learned the lesson of if you're accustomed to the Steam ecosystem, you know to be patient.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not
Yes.
buying God of War for $70.
No.
Console players are not
No.
patient. Console
Not-
players
yeah.
have way more FOMO than PC players do.
Honestly, I'm starting to get that now because I consider myself a patient gamer. I will never buy a game when it first comes out. I like to wait. But there's so many spoilers out there.
Yeah, that is a risk.
Yeah.
for sure.
Literally every
It's hard.
single day in all my social media feeds, I cannot come across something without Resident Evil Requiem.
Dude, it's unbelievable. People got no chill on Resident
Yeah,
Evil.
and it's bad. Like, here's how you beat. No,
Yeah, it's
No,
crazy.
no.
It's actually one of my favorite things to see PC gamers that they're just like, oh, I love supporting the devs, I love getting out there or whatever. And it's like, okay, but you've never bought a full price game. You always wait for like a 30 or
Right.
40, 50% discount. So who are you really supporting at this point?
True.
I think part of it too is what we talked about just a little while ago about like games that don't come out as good as they do at launch on PC. I mean, wasn't Last of Us Part 1 basically unplayable at launch? Like they had to do so
Right.
many patches to get that into a playable state, much less, a better state than the console version. So part of me thinks that Sony is looking at this as, well, we don't want to hurt the brand by having these inferior versions on PC that will
and you want to watch out for those Kratos nude mods.
that too. Yeah. Well, you've been googling that or?
Huh? Oh, I got it
man.
bookmarked.
Oh, do you? Okay. But think of the games that are coming out on PlayStation exclusively. What's the new Naughty Dog game? That one.
Galactic?
Crash.
Intergalactic.
Jack.
Is there a new Crash?
No, he's being flippant.
I'm being facetious because that's what we want. We don't want crap.
Wolverine is going to be PlayStation
Yeah,
exclusive, correct?
Galactic looks sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wolverine. Yeah, that'll start the
mean-
new policy, presumably.
Right. That'll be, if those players want to play that game, they're going to have to pick up a PS5 to do it. So I don't know. Sony's playing the exclusive game more closely than anybody else at this point. Well, maybe not Nintendo, I
Right.
guess, but definitely more than PC and Xbox. Yeah, I mean, Xbox doing the exact opposite, right?
Depends on the week.
That's true. That's true.
Right. I was gonna
So,
say,
yeah.
Nintendo will sue you for having an emulator. So talk about playing it close to the chest.
But they will charge you. They will charge you $20 to use an emulator to play Pokemon, though.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, what story would you like to
Gotta
talk
love
about, sir?
Oh, the High Guard saga comes to a close. So the game is shutting down on
Way too
March
happy
12th.
about this.
Yeah.
I know you seem like giddy that this thing is happening.
I think it was my energy just like pumped him
No.
up.
Is that what it is?
Chris,
Talking about the news,
you
now.
know,
Yes, news. I haven't been this excited since. So it means the game was only out for 6 weeks. GameFile reports Tencent was a secretly the major finance backer and pulled funding once they saw the launch drop off. Infamously, the game's creative director said Highguard would be sustainable even with small player bases. Now, it's just junk. The game was junk. It was just another hero shooter. It was just another game that was just reskinned as another game. That's all it was.
Look, I agree with you on the quality of Highguard. It was a mediocre game, and I put in decent hours. I can say that. I can say that with some authority. That game was mid. However, like it does suck that like you work on something for like 3 years and you just put it out, and then 6 weeks later it's gone forever, and not even it doesn't even have a disc, right? Like it's just gone into the ether. Now I don't know quite what you were thinking when you were like, no, we don't need to bring in playtesters because everyone who has played it knows it's genius. I'm not sure why that decision was made.
Well, if Jeff Keighley says it,
Is that the only person you need? Oh, Jeff Keighley likes it.
Yeah, no,
Shout out to
nada.
I'm sure the Game Awards Spotlight didn't do this game any favors, but if it was the player count that determined its failure, it was going to fail either way.
that's the
Right.
point that a lot of people I've been hearing are making is that, if this thing hadn't been showcased at the Game Awards, it would have just been like, oh, hey, there's this Highguard game that came out. Have you checked it out? No, not really. Oh, okay. Next.
Mhm.
You know what I
Right.
mean? It would have been the same thing. And by the way, has anybody checked in on Marathon? Like,
It's getting
how-
crushed by Slay the Spire 2. I know that.
oh my goodness. I was
Slay the
this
Spire 2 is
close.
out.
I
Oh,
was
man.
this close to buying it this week, and I
Back
didn't.
to Steam.
Slay
Yeah.
the Spire or
Slay the Spire
Marathon?
2.
Slay the Spire.
Yeah, I was this close to buying
There
There it
Marathon.
is.
I was like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, I put 12 hours into Marathon. Do not play Marathon.
No, this
I
is.
didn't even go to email.
I mean, this is not really unexpected. I think we kind of all saw this coming, but it's also
Right.
weird to see the majority of the internet cheering on its failure. I mean, this game was never going to be my kind of game. I'm not a multiplayer game guy. I like my story-driven games. I like to sit down by myself and play through a story and blow some stuff up. I'm not sweaty enough to be to be playing these games for very long. With that said, I don't like to see games fail, even if they're not for me.
Mhm.
I want every developer to be successful. And I don't understand the vitriol behind this stuff. But when are some of these developers gonna sit up and take note that this ship has sailed in terms of
Right.
you know
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We're cheering the failure because we are tired of seeing games like this. We are tired of the hero shooter montage of, oh, you get to play as this character. There's this matchup. There's that matchup. There's this counter. There's that counter. Like, just
Mhm.
make a game. Make a good game. Just sit down, put some thought into it, and release a game that people actually want to play.
Since this is probably the last time we'll talk about Highguard, I will just say Scott calling it sweaty is so right. No, it's right. Because the game
is.
presents like the art style looks very casual friendly. The game is free to play, thus inviting casuals. And then when you get to the actual gunplay, it's like sweaty, fast paced, serious kind of competitive shooting. It was such a weird mishmash. Like they didn't know how to advertise what the game was. And then every match had 3 phases, and the first 2 phases were just boring and useless. Which is not going to appeal, which might be okay with casual players because they get a little break from the firefights. But if you're a sweaty, serious gamer, you're gonna lose your mind.
now you're making me want to go
Do
like
nothing.
search out some streams of casual players like booting this game up and playing it for the first time. Going, what? You know, this-
God! I was gonna say
Yeah.
I don't think there are any casual players streaming, but I mean I've been wrong before.
I want to see the
So-
sweaty players fall asleep because they have to sit still for 3 minutes at the beginning of the match.
and that's how they get popped off because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
They're not used to.
All right,
They're not used to
gather the
patience.
orbs, get the shield. All right,
Yeah.
go collect.
Play a
the
weird mining
things.
middle game mining mini game in the middle of your shooter.
Right. Perfect. That's what I want to get. Yes, give it to me. Yes.
All right, moving on. Zach, what story would you like to discuss?
I got to talk about what the hell is going on with Taeyon because it's kind of funny, and we get so much bad news out there.
This is
I
such
think
an
it's-
interesting story.
Nice to get a little goofiness out there because RoboCop Rogue City released a very unexpected update on Steam, and it was only live for 31 minutes total. And it replaced RoboCop with an incredibly early build of a never-before-seen Hunter the Reckoning game.
Remember that
Yep.
series?
Yeah, well, I think it's based on a tabletop RPG, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember the like Gauntlet style games.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little action arcade games. But the build had the player assume the role of a police officer investigating a bar shooting by talking with a priest and a barman. That sounds like some supernatural stuff. Those are the people you do talk to in those worlds. And then
An officer, a barman, and a priest walk.
yeah, and all of a sudden, and then a werewolf pops out.
Tell me if you've heard this one.
Right.
Yeah, I saw it every week on Supernatural for 10
Right.
years.
Years.
By the way,
But,
you know it's from England when they call it a barman. Nobody here
Right.
calls it a barman, right?
That's true. Yeah, good point. But yeah, no official Hunter the Reckoning games are announced, so this is pretty weird.
So
And
if
also-
that comes out and gets announced, it's going to be like,
Yeah, thanks for new.
Right. So there was this thing a few years back where video game companies realized that people like to be in the know. And so they were giving people they were giving big streamers information and they were leaking it out to people, and they were calling it leaked data. And so people were watching this and getting excited about games and stuff, whatever, because they thought they were getting secret information that wasn't supposed to be out.
Mhm.
And so this trend just kind of keeps getting built bigger and bigger and bigger. And now you've got, GTA had a leaked file and game stuff a few years back and whatnot. And it just,
So you're saying this is intentional?
it probably was intentional. It was probably this thing where it got out there for long enough. People are going to start asking questions. People are going to start looking into it. And now they've got free publicity because they did something that was crazy. And now people are going to feel like they're in the know.
That's an interesting thought.
Interesting.
Kind of like what Ryan Reynolds did for Deadpool, or was a Ryan
Yes.
Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not
yes.
Ryan.
Yeah.
But
the thing where
who
he's sitting
timed
up on
this?
he's sitting up on the bridge, like
Yeah.
the opening scene, and it supposedly leaked.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, we all know Chris is right. We all know who leaked that thing.
Yeah.
Right. Who timed this though? I need to know. It was live for exactly 31 minutes.
That's what
Who
the
said
article. I don't know. Well, presumably you get a patch and then
it's got
patch
an
31
update,
minutes
okay.
later, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So they get time.
The streaming like,
But-
what is this? Oh my god, 31 minutes.
Right.
Well, if it is marketing, it's working on me. I know I'm interested. Tayon, they made a good Terminator. They somehow made a good Terminator game and a good RoboCop game.
Mm-hmm.
So they're the company that can make somehow good games. And I
There you
think
go.
somehow making a good Hunter the Reckoning game in 2027 or whatever, 2028, that would be surprising. And I believe Tayon could do it.
I can't wait for the inevitable announcement now, just to see how they're going to do it. Like, so we got this new game we're gonna put out in.
They should have Peter Weller narrate the trailer.
There you go. I like it.
The directors are getting together like, oh, we got to make a game now.
People love when priests talk to barmen.
Right.
So the story I want to talk about is clearly going to be the Microsoft story, but I want to give a quick shout out to this announcement for Super Basketball Classics, because, man, if you had told me that we were going to get a Harlem Globetrotters game in 2026, I would have told you were nuts, but this is happening. I thought that was kind of cool. Apparently, this is going to be like an 8-bit or 16-bit game that's going to feature the Harlem Globetrotters, which goes in conjunction with their 100th anniversary this year. So that's cool. Yeah, the Harlem Globetrotters have been around.
Are Scooby and the gang coming with?
I was gonna say that. Damn.
That's right. They were on an episode, weren't they?
Dude, I feel like that's a touchstone for a lot of people for the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also being brought to us by Acclaim, which, if you remember,
really?
Yeah, this is an Acclaim
Hell
game,
yeah.
dude.
All right.
So Acclaim was behind NBA Jam, right?
Yeah.
Acclaim and Midway. So
two things I didn't know existed still: Acclaim and NBA or the Globetrotters.
Yeah,
I think we talked about Acclaim on the show. Actually.
We did. I was being facetious.
I told you the news was scripted.
Have you guys ever seen the Harlem Globetrotters, like in person?
No,
I have not.
Only on Scooby-Doo.
On Scooby-Doo.
Jake, that's not in person. They're
Ruh-roh.
not real.
Oh no!
Really?
I was talking to them the entire time.
I actually did see the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid in Milwaukee, and it was hilarious. It was a good time. And ever since this news dropped, I've had that song stuck in my head, "Sweet Georgia Brown," the whistling song in my head for like, yeah.
It was
Don't
just a
do
guy
it.
with an afro.
Don't do it.
Like that sounds pretty cool, man.
So Project Helix announced by Xbox. There's lots of changes going on over at Xbox, and the next generation Xbox will play both Xbox and PC games, as widely speculated. This will, quote, lead in performance. Asha Sharma shared a short clip on Twitter. Previously reported new consoles would arrive in 2027. No clue if that's going to still happen, but it's out there.
I don't think they can afford it to with these RAM prices.
I know, right? This feels like news, but at the same time, it's not. It's like they've given us a name and told us what we already knew. So there's not a whole lot of new information here, and I feel like everybody that's talking about this is just speculating. But the reason I wanted to talk about it is just to say this simply. It's 2026. I don't even think by 2027 I'm going to need a new console. I don't need a PS6. I don't need whatever Project Helix is going to be. I am completely happy with my Switch 2, my Xbox Series X, and my PS5. and my Steam Deck. I'm good. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
need any more
especially-
hardware.
You're not gonna. I certainly don't need new hardware for $1,200 or whatever the hell it's going to cost.
Right, that's what the speculation is that this thing's going to cost, and I can't drop
No,
$1,200 on
way.
a console, man. There's no way.
I mean, they're
this
still
has
putting out
gotta-
games on Xbox One, right? It's not like you need to rush for the next hardware anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not like we can
This
keep
is-
up with all the new games. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate sounding like an old fart, but I always do on this show. I feel like, but it's just I don't need it. But the thing is, it's going to get bought and it's going to get scalped, and everyone's going to have this. And I want to know, who are those people? Why do you need
Yeah.
it?
Here's my thing. This is the stupidest news that has ever come out. Oh my God, Microsoft is teaming up with Microsoft to make a system that can play Microsoft games. Whoa! Who would have said this? A computer company that owns a video game company is going to be able to play both video games and computer games. Oh crap!
Like,
This
why
is-
did
this
it
is
take this
crazy
long?
news. Yeah, why did it take this long?
Yeah.
It was Microsoft Xbox for years, and then they dropped the Microsoft at some point, and now it was just Xbox. They were never different. Like,
So-
I don't know why the sudden all of a sudden, oh, we're coming back to make something together, guys. Oh,
I
it's
mean-
not like Xbox is playing Linux games.
Man, this guy is. Maybe it will. I don't know. Xbox is a wild card at this point,
They are.
No,
Yeah.
and they're in complete desperation mode.
if I mod my Switch correctly, it can play Xbox games because everything is an Xbox,
The way I was going, you don't need to
So-
mod it.
right? Everything is an Xbox. I don't need the Helix thing because my live streaming TV is an Xbox. My
Mhm.
car with
mean-
special Wi-Fi connections is an Xbox. Like, I don't know what you're trying to pull here.
I mean, there are people out there that are like, have to have the newest, latest, best, and they have to have that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, leading in performance, you're telling me that this thing is going to be better than a high-end gaming rig?
No,
I'm
No,
sure
no.
they mean in just the console realm.
Sure. Whatever one is newest is always going to lead in
Yeah.
performance. You know what I mean?
Oh, even if they don't, they just say they do. Blast processing.
but this is no longer an
Teraflops.
Xbox. Yeah, but this is no longer an Xbox that's going to play PC games. This is a PC that can play Xbox games.
Right. But can't
That's all that
your
this is.
PC game can already play Xbox games, right?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So why would I even need this Helix?
It can play more Xbox games because it couldn't play all of
Oh,
them.
It's like
Oh.
having a Commodore. Why would you need to have it?
my heart. Oh, be still.
I
my
mean, that's
beating
the
heart.
thing is, like, nobody is wanting for games right now. I guess I'm speaking for myself. I have a full-time job and not enough time to play all the games that I want. I am
Nobody needs a new console.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's the big thing. Like, I mean, I still don't use my PS5. There's not enough games out there that make me want to turn around and go, hey, let's fire up the PS5 today because I can only play that game here.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
unless you're going to release some kind of like crazy exclusives on the next gen console, I don't care.
But Scott,
which is not
Scott
what
is-
Xbox wants to do, right?
Scott
Right,
is
but okay.
traditionally an early adopter, and he wants nothing to do with the new one. So I feel like that. I think you're right, Jacob. Nobody wants this.
Well, I can't speak
mean,
for everybody.
Instead
Like,
of focusing on like the better systems, just focus on the better games.
Yes,
Right.
Xbox does need to do that, Chris. You're absolutely right.
You know,
when you're
well,
right,
no,
until we got
you're
to
right.
You're never going to work for us ever again. And like, son of a.
Yeah. Well, I'm
I
putting
work
words
for
in your
Microsoft, and I
Let-
do voiceover for Microsoft too. That's the best part.
our consoles aren't selling well. What can we do? We'll double the prices for the online system, and then we'll make a new console that nobody wants.
well, that's
When
the
that
big
fails,
selling
we'll
point.
double the
That's,
system.
that's the big selling point for people to buy the Project Helix at launch, is that in 5 years it's going to go up in price. So you might as well get it now while it's cheaper.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right.
It's gonna launch with the sale with a countdown timer.
Yeah, special launch discount.
It's gonna be like the Steam games when they come out, like at 15%
Oh.
cheaper on day one.
Oh,
Mm,
Get this, in
you're-
5 years it's gonna be $500 more. You might as well get on it now.
yeah.
it's gonna be a pre-purchase bonus. You're gonna get it 3 years earlier before it launches. quote,
Oh
unquote.
my goodness. All right. Well, that is the week's news. Let's go ahead now and jump into the new games we've been playing. All right, Zach, can you let our listeners know what games are coming out this coming week that they can purchase?
Sure. Starting with on Friday, March 13th, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection comes to PS5, Xbox Series console, Switch 2, and PC. Jumping all the way down to March 16th, you get a little weeaboo game with the Seven Deadly Sins Origin coming to PS5 and PC. A throwback for all of us old folks, Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War coming to PS5, Xbox Series console, Switch 2, and PC. New spin on a racing game, Deadline Delivery, comes to PC. A Fight Demons in Hell with Grind Survivors on PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. And another Survivor type game with Royal Revolt Survivors comes to PS5, Xbox Series console, Switch 2, and PC. The next day on March 17th, Volunteer the Ascension.
I believe it's Volunteer, but I could
Volunteer
be wrong.
the Ascension enters early access on PC. That same day, MLB The Show 26 comes out for its annual swing at the bat. Like that. On PS5, Xbox Series consoles.
You're a little off base on that one, man.
Thomas and Friends Wonders of Sodor comes to PS5, PS4, Xbox Series consoles, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Put that one on there for Jacob. Everyone makes its way to PC. Sci-fi shooter roguelike Dead Zone Rogue comes to Switch 2. March 18th, Overthrown makes its way to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. And the ever classic stealth game Shadow Tactics Blades of the Shogun gets a Switch 2 port. And then ending the week on Thursday, March 19th, Crimson Desert. We all finally get to see if this game is real or not, as it comes to PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and PC. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach comes to PC, and an action RPG, Dragonkin The Banish, releases on PS5, Xbox Series console, and PC. Chris, as our guest, why don't you tell us the game that caught your eye the most this week?
That have to be Starship Troopers. I saw that movie with my uncle when I was a kid. He snuck me to the theater. It was incredible, and
My dad did the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. When my mom found out, she killed my uncle.
Same.
Rest in peace, Uncle Dattoli.
Yeah. I just was like so fascinated. First, I was like, hey, "Is that Doogie Howser?" So like that's what kind of caught my eye. And I was like, "Yeah, it's a fun movie, you know." Because that's how we got my mom to take me. Because it's got Doogie Howser in it, you know, like so
it can't be bad.
Yeah, and just the fact that Casper, what's his name? Casper
Van Diem.
Van Diem, yeah, he was in the trailer. John Rico himself. You know, I'm just and I read some of the book too.
Really?
Older. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just very excited for it. I thought Helldivers was kind of like what Starship Troopers should be. The fact that I'm making a game, I'm very you know, I'll be probably first in line to get it.
Nice.
I'm very excited for it. If it's bad, it's going to break my heart. If it's good, okay.
If it's bad, I hope it's the fun kind of bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like the movie, like, do you want to know more? Yes. So
what about you, Scott?
Man, there's nothing on here that really does anything for me. I guess if I had to pick one, a toss-up between the two Survivors likes, Grind Survivors and Royal Revolt Survivors. I guess maybe the one that has co-op, just because I haven't played one of these in co-op before, but it's kind of sad. We're to the point where I see a trailer like this and I'm like, oh, it's another one of those.
Well, yeah, the genre is getting real popular real fast.
Yep.
What about you, Jacob?
Deadline Delivery reminds me of Haste, and it's in a car, and you play as a monkey, and you have a bomb. So let's go.
All right. And
it just sounds like a good time.
I think it looks over the top in a fun way. I'm gonna have to agree with Chris on Starship Troopers Ultimate Bug War, because I mean the design of it reminds me of PS2 shooters, and I say hell yeah to that.
Yeah,
sign me up.
Definitely.
I can get down with that.
Speaking of stuff from the PlayStation 2 era, Jacob, you're playing the latest Monster Hunter release, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection.
Oh man,
how is it?
You know what? Turn-based games are not my cup of tea. I think I used that exact line.
Yeah,
I think I used that exact line in the my review, but I am actually pleasantly surprised with this game and having a lot of fun.
Nice.
And you claim it's not just because it has Monster Hunter in the title, right?
Yes. while living in the world of Monster Hunter is awesome, and you're going through and you're collecting eggs and you're raising these creatures to do your bidding and fighting for you and all this nonsense, like actually exploring the world and seeing how they used everything from Monster Hunter to make basically a completely new world, and then put, you know, these different types of characters in there. Because in the normal, I guess I don't even know what do you call it, like the world or whatever, the scenery. In the normal Monster Hunter games, there are no writers. They never talk about people writing monsters. They never talk about people raising monsters.
It's just about killing them.
Well, I mean, in coexistence, they try to maintain life until you're in about worlds. They went to a new one, and then every time they saw a new creature, they wanted to research it, and research it was brutally murder it. But yeah, I don't care. Science. But yeah, so in this one, you play as Prince of, dude, I don't even remember off the top of my head now, but yeah, you play as a prince of the land that you're in, and you are a ranger with a team, and your purpose in this unit as the rangers is to protect and revitalize the ecosystem around your area. And so you and your team go around and find extinct monsters and bring them back to life with certain ceremonies, and then release those monsters back into the wilderness so they can reproduce and repopulate the area, and so on and so forth. There's a big calamity that's happening that's killing everything basically slowly. They call it the encroachment. It's turning everything into crystals, which sounds terrible. That you find out that there's a disease that happens that people get like crystals in their joints, which, I mean, it just sounds like gout, but that happens, but it slowly kills you. And then, you know, so people are trying to find a cure for it. They're doing research on it, but you find out that the people that you live with have been sequestered because of something that happened many, many years ago. And so your exploration into this new world is kind of seen as against a treaty of sorts, and so everyone kind of looks at you with like hesitation. They don't know why you're there, or if you are actually mean or whatever. So you're just kind of trying to do your best to do what's right, to be on everyone's good side, but there's still trepidation between your interactions between people. But I have been like mainstreaming the main game, and so we're going like, they'll look at me one moment and go, I hate you, and then I go do a couple of missions and they're like, oh, we love you, thank you for saving us. And I was like, I don't know anything about you people. Like your name is like Steve, and now you love me. Like you're willing to die for me, and I just met you. But yeah, as you're growing and doing these things with monsters, there are a bunch of side quests and a bunch of explorations to do, and a bunch of different stuff that you're supposed to be doing to make yourself stronger, to maintain the ability to fight in the world. Because I got powered out, I got leveled out. There's a system where the game goes, oh, hey, when a monster has this symbol above their head, they're too strong for you to fight. And they were like, okay, here's a new area, go in there. And every one of the monsters had that symbol. And I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything here. So now I got to go back and, I got to grind out some levels and do this. But the mechanic with finding new extinct creatures and reintroducing them in the wilderness is that when you keep doing it over and over again, those monsters get stronger. And so when you find an egg then of that species, it's a stronger variant than what you already have or have already released in the past. So then that will help you either with a base or allow you to get stronger faster. And so you're trying to keep this, you're trying to keep this, revolving roster of creatures in your inventory to, make sure that the ecosystem and your party stays as strong as possible.
Now, you're not a turn-based guy. You told us that this is not your normal cup of tea, like you said. So I'm really curious to hear how this one works mechanically then, in terms of like the actual battles and everything, from a guy that doesn't have a whole lot to compare. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's a rock paper system, through rock paper scissors mechanic that happens while you're fighting. And so the enemy will go, hey, I'm going to attack you, but it doesn't tell you what kind of attack that it's coming with. It's either going to be power, technique, or speed. And you kind of have to go, hey, I know what this creature is. And so, I mean, you actually have to do research. Like the more you fight a creature, the more you know about the creature. And so then you can go, hey, okay, I know that he uses this attack. I know he uses these kind of attacks. So, okay, I'm assuming he's going to use a technical attack, so I'm going to use a power attack to counter them. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it brings this level of knowledge that you're actually learning about the creatures in the ecosystem that you're fighting versus just, smashing your head against a wall hoping to win. Along with that, all the monsters have different elements, different resistances, different attacks, all that kind of stuff. So maybe you know that this creature that you're fighting is really strong against electric types. So you're not going to use an electric type because your attacks are going to be pretty much useless. So instead you're going to find out its weakness, and then you're going to use that creature. After I punch my mic, you're going to use that creature to do extra damage. My bad. To do extra damage to the creature to hopefully win faster. But they do build this kinship between you and your monsters, which allow you to do special attacks and different, powerhouse moves and whatnot. So yeah, it ends up being the fights are a little bit more technical on the outside versus on the inside, because you're using the stuff that you do on the outside of combat to learn how to fight people on the inside.
That's
Makes
interesting.
sense?
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird for me, because I'm going into the battle going, I know that creature. I fought that creature myself 100,000 times. It does this. Its lore says this. So I'm going to do this. And I've been right probably like 8 out of 10 times.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
gotta be kind of cool. That's a way to get someone that's not into this genre. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So now I can talk about it. Well, I guess I could have talked about it in the review, but either way. So one of the first big creatures that you get, the game is teaching you how to do this like habitat restoration thing. And you get a creature called a Rathian. And in the lore, the Rathian is female and is only ever female. And the game goes, hey, release this out in the wilderness so it can repopulate the area. And your character has been blessed with this whatever nonsense that you own the only Rathalos, which is the male counterpart of it. The only one that you know of in existence is by your side, and you didn't release into the wild. And so then you start seeing more Rathian in the area. And I'm just going, you could have used any other creature. You could have used anything else and it would have worked. But like by lore, you ruined everything for me.
Aw. Huh.
So it's just my little inside gamer gripe.
The
Gotcha.
Monster Hunter fan in you just couldn't take it.
Yeah. Yep. So,
Well, still, it sounds like you recommend people check this one out, though.
oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. There have been a couple of awkward cutscenes because I did not play the first 2 games.
Okay.
And so there are people that show up in this one that are from the other 2 games, and they want to give you a second to go, hey, that's you. And so the cutscene kind of like has this person like dramatically turn around, and the camera kind of stops and stares at them for just a little bit too long. And I'm going, not knowing, I'm like, okay, like, okay, but like I get it. It's like, that's cool. And then the game's like, oh yeah, that was this person. Like, oh, okay. I didn't know. My bad.
Gotcha.
That was a fanfare moment. I didn't see that.
So Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, you're playing on PC, but it is also available on Xbox Series S and X, PS5, and Switch.
If you say so.
Developed and published by Capcom. You were provided a copy by 47, so shout out to those guys for hooking you up. And this is a full price title, so $69.99 if you were interested in it. Yeah, sounds like a recommendation from Jacob.
Oh yeah, I'm having a great time with it.
Awesome. Zach, let's move over to you. I want to hear about Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. This is the second Legacy of Kain game that remastered game that you've reviewed for us. You really like the other one. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, I guess technically third, because the last package had 2 games. This only has 1.
Yeah, fair enough.
But that's, I guess, the economy. You get less games now in your packages.
Right.
Inflation is a real thing.
Yeah.
Less game per game.
I guess I'll start out by just talking about Legacy of Kain Defiance as a game itself, and then I'll talk about the remastered aspects.
All right.
Defiance it's a sequel to Soul Reaver 2, which ended on a big cliffhanger. So I was excited to see where it was going to go. The story remains really strong here in Defiance, although trying to keep track of a timeline and a time travel saga that's 5 games big gets a little tricky.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it does well. But what you're mostly here for in these Legacy games is the dialogue and the voice acting, which are both still exceptional.
Okay.
Simon Templeman as Kane and Michael Bell as Raziel are just, you want to hear those guys just read the dictionary together, kind of somewhat condescendingly towards one another while they're doing it, and you're like, yeah, I could just do this all day, because any scene where Kane and Raziel are together they're automatically the highlights of any of these games.
Nice.
Because they're just smack talking each other. They don't really like each other. They both think the other is gonna ruin all of their plans, and yet they're on the same path of destiny. So they also need each other, but they don't want to need each other. It's pretty great. Love it. Top tier stuff. Where the other Soul Reaver games excelled, they still had great gameplay. The combat in Soul Reaver 1 and 2 was interesting because you're fighting vampires, and you actually had to do things like stake them or set them on fire or put them in water to kill vampires. The rules. And it was always mixed up with some exploration, some interesting puzzles. Defiance, much weaker in the gameplay aspect, because it is just endless combat. There are, like, I wouldn't call them puzzles, because it's just like, hey, find the 6 lights in this room, and you're like, yeah, I see them, right? Like, that's the extent of a puzzle in Legacy of Kain Defiance. It really seemed, because this came out 2003, it really felt like they saw Devil May Cry and they're like, hey, can we do that but with vampires? And I guess the answer was no, because because the combat here is so monotonous, man. It's unbelievably boring. It is. You have like one combo, on the square button, and then you have like a triangle to uppercut people, and then that's pretty much it.
Wow.
And every enemy can die from that. You do get, like, randomly while you're playing it, you'll just be in the middle of a fight and it'll be like, here, you unlocked a new special move. You have no idea why you unlocked it. But also all that is like, well, if you push the left stick while you're pressing square, you'll swing your sword in a different way. So it's just really not exciting, very disappointing. So much so that I just ran past every combat encounter that didn't give me one of those, like, walls that they throw up in these kind of games where they're like, you got to kill everybody here if you want to move on.
Oh,
whenever they didn't
force fields.
Yes. Whenever they didn't do that, I just kept running. And whenever they did do that, I just went. So,
this again?
Great. Yeah, but you get to the cutscene, and all of a sudden, all that washes away. And then when you get to, like, the end, where it's just like a cutscene fest and some genuinely decent boss fights, when you get to, like, that last, like, 15% of the game, you're like, hell yeah, dude, we are cruising. This thing is kicking ass. But boy, it's going to be a bit of a slog to get there. I'm not going to lie to you.
All right.
But it ends strong. Go ahead.
You scored it quite high on your review, which is available on our website, thegamingoutsider.com. So even though the gameplay is repetitive, it's worth it just to see what happens with the story and the dialogue and the voice acting.
Yeah, the story is great. The voice acting is unbelievable. But also, this is a remastered package, right? So I'm also weighing the review score on that.
Mm-hmm.
And the remaster touches here are top tier.
Wow,
complete labor of love. The graphics, of course, get an overhaul, which is to be expected. They do the cool thing where you switch between the old PS2 graphics and the new graphics with the click of a button. Love that. It's so cool. But they also went above and beyond by the original Legacy of Kain Defiance had fixed camera angles, much like original Devil May Cry.
Mm-hmm.
But here they unlock the camera. You just move around like a regular old 3D camera.
Wow, that's huge.
That's a massive change. And they even let you, at the tap of a button, switch back into the locked camera angles whenever you want, which I think is a nice little touch. And when you do that, you see why they unlock the camera, because they didn't. Because you think of, like, God of War has the fixed camera angles, right? But it made, like, it would do, like, sweeping, breathtaking shots.
Right.
And
it never felt like it was getting in the way.
No, it almost felt like it was adding to it, right? Because they could pull the camera back and give you a sense of scale or whatever. And I played intermittently with the fixed cameras here to get a sense for, and it'll just be like the essential platform you need to jump out of the area is just like off to the left of the screen, and you don't even know there's a left side of the room because the camera angle doesn't tell you that there's more to the room.
So you have to, like, move over there, and then for the new camera angle to pop over.
You have to, like, luck into going that direction. Yeah. It's really strange. Or, like, maybe in the front left of the corner, there's like a crack in the wall, but you can't. Is that just a background, or can I go there? I don't really know. Anyway, it's just brilliant decision to lock the camera. And I can't imagine that was easy either.
Mm-hmm.
So major props to them for doing that. And then like the bonus features are are outrageous. You know, they have the behind the scenes videos where you can see the actors recording their lines. And Chris, I'm sure you'll appreciate this. They did the incredibly rare thing even today where the voice actors are in the same room together.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why those Kane and Raziel scenes stand out so much, because they get to play off each other.
It's honestly, I could talk about that later, I think. But when you get all the actors together like that, it's it's incredible.
It's magic, yeah.
It is, that's why SpongeBob does
it. Yeah, or like that's why we remember Marcus and Dom in Gears of War, because they did that there too.
Right?
Yeah,
you know, like it just makes all the difference. And then they have like a bunch of cut levels or levels that change. They let you play around in the versions that they used to be a little bit, like just really cool stuff. They have a whole encyclopedia they added to the game if you want to learn about the worlds of Nosgoth, and you can actually sit there and read the whole timeline that, you know, some kind of dedicated fan put together.
wow.
It's pretty wild.
Wow.
They good stuff.
It's like Hyrule Historia, but for this genre.
Yeah,
but this series instead.
And included with your purchase, right?
Yeah.
Less included in your purchase unless you do the $5 more expensive version, which I think is obnoxious as hell, but whatever. I'm not here to judge that. Is they have a demo for the canceled sequel to this game.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's pretty sick, man.
How? Yeah, you never get that.
No, and it's funny because when you load into it, it's like, hey, this game was getting built on the Legacy of Kain Defiance engine, and you're like, but then you play it and you're like, yeah, I could see they were definitely just using those. They were just using that combat model and assets again.
Right.
But I think it's even more impressive because it wasn't even Crystal Dynamics was moving on to Tomb Raider at the time, so this was actually getting outsourced to a different developer, and yet somehow they managed to compile a demo from the canceled assets. I don't know what the hell's going on over there.
That's
I
impressive.
play everywhere, but dude, that is they did some work.
So Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. You're playing this on PS5. It's also available on Xbox and PC, coming to Switch later. Sounds like a good recommendation from you.
Yeah, I don't. The actual people who handled the remasters play everywhere. I haven't heard of them before, but you know, I hope they get to do some more remaster projects.
Stay away from Sony, guys. Just
they'll shut you down.
Yeah, developed, published by Crystal Dynamics. It was provided to us by Sandbox Strategies, and you can get that for $24.99 on any of those platforms that we mentioned.
$29.99 for the version that comes with the demo of the canceled sequel. It is quite frustrating. They put that behind a paywall. Just make the price $29.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Zach, going back to you, you've also been playing Hive Blight.
Mm-hmm.
This is an auto battler with bugs.
That's right.
I was surprised you wanted to play this one, dude.
Well, I've got a weird fascination for bug wars ever since I was a middle schooler, and me and my best friend Chris, coincidentally, came up with an idea of a video game we're going to make about the war between ants and ladybugs. So I've always been partial to bugs murdering each other.
You must have loved Bugs Life.
I thought, well, ants is the war one.
That's true. Well, there was a kind of a war in Bugs Life, but ants was the more adult one. I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like I remember liking ants more. But regardless, either way, they were both ripping off my idea. so screw them.
Right.
But Hive Blight, to your point, is an auto battler. It's from Optiz Onion. I think it's how you say the developer's name. They did the Western Survivors like Scott. Bounty of One.
Bounty of One.
They did Bounty of One. Just solid Survivors like.
Glad to help.
We got there.
I'm glad you're here. Your winning smile told me everything I needed to know. This is a run-based auto battler. You start a run with getting a certain amount of units, and you go into these battles, and it's a hexagon grid, and you have to place, where you want your different bugs. So it might behoove you to put like a tank in front, so he's kind of pulling all the taunts, and then maybe you have like an archer in the back, firing off to kill the enemies while he's distracting him, etc. But all of the combat is auto done, so you just hit initiate the fight, and then you just watch these bugs murder each other, and hopefully your bugs win. And every and it has that kind of Slay the Spire map where you have like the 3 routes,
Right.
and you're going down there and you get like different treasures, which so you get different items to equip to your bugs, and you can get different units, or and, you can run into an event that might happen on the field. And so it's pretty simple in that way. It's going to be familiar to a lot of people, but I think it is a great deal of fun to just watch these bugs fight it out.
Now, this is the early access, right? This isn't out yet.
Yes, which is quite telling if you're playing it on Steam Deck, because the controller support, while there, definitely, obviously, it has room for improvement. For instance, whenever you win a conflict, you get a reward, right?
Uh-huh.
But if you click confirm, it never opens the reward, at least not for me. So every time I have to like do that, the function on the Steam Deck to use the mouse real quick.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And then sometimes when you're trying to equip an item to a bug, it'll like the selecting hexagon thing will just like explode super large on the screen, so you can't really tell what you're doing.
Oh,
but this is a specifically a Steam Deck problem, but it's also a problem at Bounty One. So developers might just not care, which is fine. I don't think there's any kind of legal requirement to support the Steam Deck, but the text is small as hell.
Yeah,
which is a struggle. But you get past that, you have a really fun, fairly addictive auto battler. I've always been kind of go ahead.
This looks like it has the potential to be overwhelming. Like it just looks like there's so much going on in this. Does it ramp you up?
I don't think it's overwhelming, because what you're probably looking at are you looking at the battles?
I'm looking at the trailer.
Yeah, because a lot of it's not overwhelming because you get as much prep time as you want, and then you kind of unleash to see if your strategies will work.
Gotcha.
So all the overwhelming stuff is like you're just kicking back, watching a battle play out, basically.
Okay. It's like dwarves except on a hexaplane.
Yeah, it is kind of like dwarves, absolutely. That we've all become obsessed with. Yeah, we've all become obsessed with this year. The thing for me, Hive Blight is going to be a little bit more addictive. I do keep wanting to play more. The only thing holding me back from playing more is the somewhat lackluster controller support right now.
I mean, it looks like it just is. It would play better with a controller, even if it was optimized. I'm sorry, better with a mouse, even if it were optimized for a Steam Deck. It just looks like a game for pointing and clicking.
Yes, which is good for when you're playing handheld, right? Because you can just use a trackpad for your mouse,
right?
Oh, that text is still miniature.
Gotcha. Let's see. That is PC only. It was provided to us by Sparks Force and is available for early access for only $12.49 right now.
Yeah, and I think it's on a launch discount for like $10. So if you like supporting indies, give these guys a shot. Based on how much content Bounty of One had, I feel like Hive Blight has a bright future ahead of it. And
awesome.
Like I said, it's so you feel like this like bug mastermind general, because you put your units together and your strategies, and then you watch them murder the enemy, and you just kick back and go.
Yes. It has a Blight future.
It feels.
Oh my goodness!
They do have like
one of those nights.
Not like a deep story, obviously that would be kind of silly for the genre, but they do have like kind of faction breakdowns and like a history going on for this bug fantasy world they're building.
That's more than you'd expect for a game like this, honestly.
And it's fun. It's just fun stuff.
The ants of the north.
They're ever on their watch.
The odorous house ants versus the citronella ants.
Yeah.
The citronella ants. All right, before we move on to our topic, I got a couple more reviews to share with you guys. I sat down with Mark and Joel, who played a couple games for us. We're going to play this for you right now.
No, you didn't.
Thanks, gentlemen. Do appreciate that. Before we move on, I just want to give you a quick reminder about Apple Podcasts. If you're listening to this, be sure to drop us a review. We do appreciate those. We do read them on the show. If you drop us a review, we'd love to hear from you. Also, check out our website, thegamingoutsider.com. You can find all of our written content, including all of our episodes. But the written content includes Zach's aforementioned Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered review, as well as Jake's review for Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. Again, that is available this Friday. So again, thegamingoutsider.com. All right.
The dub in the house.
Just making great radio, Jake. Let's go ahead and jump into our From the Outside In topic.
No.
All right, Chris, we are very excited to have you here. We don't get to talk to voice actors often. And when I first approached you, I said, what would you like to discuss on the podcast? And you said, in your words, the art of voice acting. So that's what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about why voice acting is an art. And we're going to grill you with some questions about what it's like to be a voice actor. I have my own hopes and dreams of one day being able to convince someone to let me use my voice in a video game somewhere. So I'm going to ask you all kinds of questions, but
Sure, absolutely.
but I'm curious. I want to let you take the floor for a second and just tell us why are you so passionate about voice acting being an art? I'm not saying I disagree with you, but you brought up the topic, and I want to know why are you so passionate?
Because it's a way to inspire people. I mean, looking down when I remember because I'm a huge RPG fan, the very first time I had voice acting in the Final Fantasy series, I'm like, wow, they just added a whole nother level of like creativity and inspiration. And I remember for the Sega CD, and I'm ashamed I don't have this game anymore, but Lunar Silver Star Story, hearing that, I'm like, wow, they actually have like singing in this game. It makes a connection. And as I said, it's used for inspiring people. Not to, of course, the graphics and the story, they're incredible. But hearing the voice acting, just, it makes that connection, adds another level of intimacy, another level of inspiration. And it just hearing when we're low sometimes, I know sometimes when I'm hard on myself, I hear Solid Snake's voice in the back of my head, like encouraging me on, or I'll hear Mario, even though he said "It's me, Mario," not "It's me, Mario." I hear, of course, when I say my last name, Dattoli, everyone goes, Dattoli, it's me, Dattoli. I'm like, yeah, no, but where would we be without Mario saying that?
Right.
And it's creativity first and foremost. I mean, I said inspiration. It's just a sense of wonder, brevity, and just passion come together in the most beautiful form.
That's
Can
awesome. Go ahead.
That was inspiring, but I got stuck on the Final Fantasy voice acting thing because it's Final Fantasy X, right? Would be the first one with voice
The
acting.
very first one was Final Fantasy X.
So does it just drive you crazy like it does me when people make fun of the laughing scene? Because it's actually really good acting, and everyone keeps trying to claim it's bad, but it's perfect in the freaking scene.
You know what? I kind of encourage people to do that because when you're in a booth by yourself and you're reading lines and you have to do, laugh. I mean, we have to think of things to make us laugh. We think of a joke or like, all right, you got to do that again. And 9 out of 10 times, we're saying the same line over and over and over again. And it's not bad acting. It could be just that's the track they chose. There's from the video game I did, Brigandine Grand Edition, like the opening line the guy did where I did for Zemicus. I'm like, why did he choose that take? I recorded friggin' 6 of them. Like, out of all of them, why that one? And it's just like it's what they chose. So it could be just like that's what the director chose. That's what the crew chose for that. So I encourage you, like, try to, you can think of something funny, but then to kind of mimic that same laughter over and over and over again. That's like it. That's why I consider it voice acting art, because you're creating something from nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I even go and once you do let me do like a casual one, or like a really like head over heels, like like
I feel really funny right now.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing a great job.
So yeah, it just I'm like, it's so easy, you do it.
All right. Yeah.
Some
absolutely.
people may knock it out of the park. Some people,
Well, I mean, I have a lot of practice at fake laughing because I hang out with Jake pretty often. So like when I have to.
I like Jake. I think he's pretty cool.
I
do
have a
too.
lot of practice in crying because I do it so often.
He can cry on command. I can just say anything and he just starts crying. I don't know why.
He just thinks of Scott.
I think of all my lovely friends I have around me
Aww.
and cry.
No, we love Jake.
No,
I'm really curious because you've done a lot of different. You've lent your voice to many different things besides video games. You've done, according to your website, you've got even some like national commercials and You've got things in film, and is there a different mindset that you go into when you're doing something like, between a movie or a commercial or a video game, or is it kind of all just the same gig?
Between I never wanted to be here.
We were all trying to get our quips in. Sorry, Chris. That was
no. It's all good.
I'll go first. Continue. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm sorry. You know what? Depending what it is, because with commercials, every voice actor will tell you there's something called a breakdown. When they give you like a breakdown of the script, like what they're looking for. Best advice I ever got was from my friend and mentor Mark Cashman. He says, something, Chris, no one knows what the F they want until they hear it. So they're going to give you a breakdown, and every single breakdown for commercials, it's non-announcery, casual, conversational. That's every single one. And in the first sentence, always introducing. I'm like, I would never say to my friend, introducing.
Right.
And for like commercial copy, it's always like conversational, non-announcery, and that kind of does play in the same way with like corporate narration, medical learning, because we have to take words like spinopalatine ganglioneuralgia and make it conversational, and it's really just saying brain freeze. And I think, why can't you just say friggin' brain freeze? Why do you have to come up with stupid whatever?
You should not have been able to have that roll off your tongue the way that you did.
I know you said it quite a few times.
Yeah,
this is why he's a pro.
I said it so many times. I messed up a lot too. So when it comes to video games, I actually have a bit of a cheat sheet. So I'm a big fan of music. There's always a set playlist that I have that I listen to the same songs to get me in different moods. Best one I have is for villains. I don't know why it always puts me in such like a villain mood, but it's the Moonlight Sonata by Beethoven.
Yeah.
Just listening to that, I'm like, there's something eerie about it. It could be maybe from playing Resident Evil 1. It could be from Interview with a Vampire, but there's something just reminds me of just horror. And I always tend to just lose myself and go over the top with it. My first take, I always go a little different because everyone reads the script the same way. I jump up topics a lot with everything. So I try to, when everyone goes left, I try to go right and do it in like a professional, correct way. So everyone's like, I have like a lead in. I also put 5 pictures. I took them down right now, but 5 pictures of people in my studio that I speak to. That's kind of like I keep it conversational. And there is sort of a cadence with everything where it's sort of the same, but each one, it's a deep, unique approach, and it's up to you to find that rhythm. Right now I'm starting back into, I went to like a big narrator breakfast and networking event, and I was like, are you a narrator? I'm like, well, I have done audiobooks, not as many as you people, but I've done other things, and I'm just kind of getting to that, and just the way they present this stuff, I'm like, this is like, it's voice acting, but it's a completely different world.
Right.
To answer the question, there is sort of your way to find a rhythm to each one. You approach them as conversational, don't be intimidated. No, and advice I always got in the back of my head is no one knows what the F they want until they hear it. So
it's fascinating that you say that, because I'm not exaggerating this. Literally yesterday, I was watching a documentary on Matthew Perry. My wife had it on in the background, and we were watching it, and they were going through Friends, and they were talking about that series and how those 6 got cast for their roles in that TV show. And for the most part, the majority of them played the character different than it was on the script. They had put their own spin on it. Like Joey wasn't supposed to be kind of dim-witted. Right. Matt LeBlanc made him dim-witted. And like you said, they didn't know that's what they wanted until they heard it. So that is a fascinating thing. And the other thing I want to comment on is when you talked about, like, you got the 5 different pictures that you have hanging up. When I started recording in an audiobook, and my producer is producing it for me, and he was trying to give me advice, and I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do this voice. He's like, think of an actor that looks like what you want to sound like, and put their picture up above your monitor when you're reading the text. And I didn't actually physically print out a picture, but I had a picture of someone in my mind, and I was just like, had that while I was reading the script. So yeah, but the idea of actually having faces of other people to pretend talk to, I might try that.
The people I have, it's my mom, my kids, my best friend, my wife, and someone who I hate with a passion. Hate's a strong word. I actually, the reason for that is the way I talk to someone I hate is completely different the way I talk to my wife, depending on the day. The way I talk to my best friend is completely different the way I talk to my mom.
Sure.
So, and by doing that, it's going to pull out different emotions. So like you definitely reading a script, if depending on if I want to relax, if I want it to sound more angry, if I want it to sound more, like I'm talking to my kids, like more like parental figure, if you will, like more concerning, more loving, and it's just a technique another coach taught me to do. And I think it's a wonderful, and it's helped me out tremendously.
It's actually awesome. You're
think
getting
that-
into like a mindset by like visualizing, and I would have never thought of that.
Me either. I feel
Clever.
enlightened.
Yeah. Very clever.
I'm not being funny. I'm serious.
That's the art.
That's
Yeah.
the art right there.
Well, we got a couple of questions from our listeners. Actually, our first one comes from our news editor, Mark Szymanski. He says, "Are volunteer or no pay opportunities out there to build a resume? If yes, how can somebody find them?"
Absolutely. There's a website called castandcallclub.com. I know when I first started, I don't believe it's around anymore, but it was a voice acting alliance. I'm not sure if it's around anymore. Now there's another one called, I'm just drawing a blank on it right now. You can go on Reddit. There's opportunities on Reddit where they have like, you can gain experience and everything. I would highly advise you not to go on Fiverr.
I was just going to bring that one up. That's the only one I knew of.
I'm going to tell you these two sites to stay the heck away from: Fiverr.com and Voices.com. Fiverr.com, because, well, you're selling yourself for $5. And if you do eventually want to be represented by an agent or join a company, they do research on you. And to find out you're on that website, they can be like, well, you're just selling your services for $5. How are we going to make money on your voice if that's all you charge? Now, I know eventually on Fiverr, you could charge whatever rates you want to like a point like that. And it gets, I don't know if it's the same way Voices.com. I don't know. I'm not on there, but I hate that website with a passion. And in voice actor that says you can make $1 million on there, run. Is it possible? Yes, anything is possible if you try hard enough, but they're trying to get money out of you, which is why, like, ever since the pandemic, there's so many people out there scamming new people trying to get into voice acting and saying they're a coach. Like, oh, look at all these credits I have. And that's why I was advised doing research. Sorry if I keep jumping topics or anything like that.
No.
I say do a lot of research on a coach. To me, a coach should be someone who's been in the voice acting world for a minimum of 10 years, someone who's been represented by several accredited agencies. They've done more than just one field of voice acting. What I mean, more than just anime, more than just audiobooks, more than just video games. They've done a wide variety. Now, they can have their niche in that where they are known for video games, like they make the money, but any good voice actor, any good coach has done a variety of projects. So that's kind of my stipulation from looking at a coach, and ask questions too. There's been so many, I'm banned from so many companies and banned from so many popular voice actors because I didn't challenge them. I just said, well, what qualifications do you have to be a coach? And then all of a sudden they get like PO'd at me. I'm like, whoa, listen, like you've just done this type of field. What makes you a coach? And then, it's kind of funny now because I see those people who called me out and yelled at me. They're kind of getting their just desserts and their comeuppance because one of them turned out to be a predator. One turned out to be ripping people off.
Turned out to be bad people.
Turned out to be bad people. And I hope this other person that called me out and that I called him out, hope he gets what's coming to them. But I don't want to wish bad things in the world. Anyway. Just they just try to scam you. Any good coach is going to work with you. I advise, working with a coach who's also a demo producer because they're going to try to sell you on like a bit of a package. There's nothing really wrong with that. There isn't. I know a coach I work with, he produced me an award-winning demo that I actually won, well, obviously an award with. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you want to keep an eye on that and ask questions like, hey, like, if you don't mind me asking, what are your qualifications to be a coach? Like, how are we going to work together? That's a big thing. Right. And the good coaches will not get offended. They're going to respect you. because be like, okay, you're serious about this. All right.
Right.
So
you want to know how I know how to teach you. Like that
exactly.
makes sense.
How does one go about finding a coach?
You could ask me. I could recommend some good ones. Now, I don't want to say like I'm selling you on these coaches.
Uh-huh.
Like these are just some of the coaches that I know that I work with that are really well, that produced several award-winning demos, and also coached talent that go on and won other awards, are making a lot of money in the industry. You can look up voice coach. You can certainly look up voice coaches. There was a website where it gave you a list of all the good voiceover coaches. It's gone now.
Mm.
You could also go on the Global Voice Acting Academy. They also have the GVAA rate guide, where it tells you exactly what to charge for a project if you're union and non-union, which is incredible. Which it's great for new talent getting started in there. And just make sure do your coach. And then reach out to me and be like, hey, have you heard of this coach? No, let me do some research on you. I love helping people out, and that's all I want to do. The industry that gave me so much, I want to get back to it.
No,
that's incredible.
That's very thoughtful of you. Yeah, but I have a profile on Casting Call Club, and it does seem like there's a lot going on there. So it seems like, I don't know, this seems like a good place to start for people.
It is. You want to be careful doing fan dubs.
There were a surprising amount of fan dubs. I didn't expect that personally.
Yeah. You want to just like sort through it.
What's fan dub? I feel like some people, I don't know what that is, and I feel like maybe some of our listeners don't know what that means either.
It's just basically, have you ever heard of Team 4-Star, the DBZ abridged?
Okay.
Or basically taking a popular anime series and just dubbing over the voice actors that are already dubbed over it. Or like adding their own twist and words to it. So
usually trying to be comedic, I guess. Right?
Yeah. It's kind of illegal.
I was just saying, how is that? Yeah.
You can't put it on your resume. Like I know Team 4-Star, they're incredibly talented. But I'm not talking negative on all, but I know they did the DBZ abridged, and I know Sean, I'm gonna butcher his name, Shmano, probably mispronounced his name. Goku. Yeah. He has some thoughts on it. But it is an illegal thing to do. Just do like independent work or what have you. And I'm always voicing you to get paid, but obviously you have to get some experience in there. If you want to do some like a royalty share down the road, that's fine. There's also for audiobooks, there's acx.com. You could, literally you could get a decent microphone and start, which I don't like, but like at the same time for new talent. And they have unpaid work you could do. Or not unpaid, royalty share.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, ACX is Amazon, basically, like for Audible. So like that's what I'm using for the audiobook that I'm recording now. So it's, you have like two options. You can either do it like just lump sum or royalty, like you said. And,
the ones I've done in the beginning, I sound absolutely horrible. I think 4 of them are erotica.
Hell yeah, buddy.
There's a whole niche to that too, which is surprisingly pretty lucrative and kind of profitable too. But anyway,
I bet.
Nice. One of the characters in the book that I'm reading is a seductress, a female seductress, and it's one of those when I'm sitting down here recording and I'm just waiting for my wife to come down and go, "What the hell are you doing down here?"
Yeah. Well, if you do it well enough, she might be like, "Hey, what the hell are you doing
over there?" I'm curious what it is like in the world of AI right now, because that is a huge issue in all realms of technology right now. How much of a struggle is it for you as a voice actor when there are so many easier routes for people to go do this, whether legally or illegally? What's it like fighting against that?
I mean, it's always it's a battle. It's not really a huge uphill battle right now. It's kind of getting there. I mean, there have been several companies where I think I lost 7 jobs from AI, but I got hired back from 4 of them. So,
so they learned their lesson.
Yes,
they learned their lesson. Yeah. I mean, AI will never be able to replicate a human's voice, the cadence, the pausing, the emotion. It will never be able to do that. Maybe 50 years down the line, because whenever I hear a company, I'm like, they used AI, because I hear like the fake typing in the background, or they take too long to respond. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if there's like a second delay or even a little delay, I know for a fact they don't take that. It doesn't take that long to respond.
Right.
And I just say, hey, listen, all right. There's a company they'd say they're going to AI. I go, all right, if you want your customers to know that you rather be computerized than humanized, go ahead, go with them. I treat them like, all right, like they're losing something out. It's also like a salesman tactic that I learned along the way. Once you forcibly take something away, they're kind of like, well, maybe I'm missing out a little bit. That FOMO. It's is the thing with because I do on-camera work too, especially with on-camera work. I know there was a stipulation with that whole strike that went on with background work. They said they wanted to scan your likeness and use it. 2 words I hate is in perpetuity, which basically means forever. So they would have, for background work, and they said like, hey, for an extra $300, would you agree to have your likeness scanned? And if you put yes, yeah, you got an extra like $500 for, being on set for 8-10 hours, but they own you forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I think James Earl Jones just sold his voice to
Disney. Yeah.
So, it's
he took some jobs away from potential Darth Vader voice actors.
I know, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So, it's always going to be a battle. There's always going to be people who value quantity over quality.
Right.
And it's just your job to educate them, be like, well, here's why you want to go with me. Because they're going to ask, well, why should I go? There's 100 voice actors there. Why should I go with you? Well, this is why. You got to come up with your little pitch. This is why I always recommend taking like a business marketing class. That way you know how to basically sell yourself, a salesman class. Also, you know how to market yourself. You know about the business world.
Yeah, Zach is much better at sniffing out AI work than I am. We've been offered, review copies of games to cover on the site, and I've put them out there and said, "Hey, Zach, you interested in this game?" And he'll be like, "Absolutely not. They're using AI voice work," and I didn't even know. So he's definitely got an ear for it, and I wish I did. I'm getting better. I'm getting a little bit better, but we got another question.
I'm out there fighting for you, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you're the real one.
We got another question from our audience. Drew Ross wants to know, when you record your voice work, do they even tell you what the game is or context of what you're recording?
For the audition, bare minimum.
Yeah.
If you get it, a lot more is explained. They say like, hey, here's a game, here's the background. Sometimes they give a little too much. Like
give themselves away, or
not so much give themselves away, but they go into this huge backstory about the world. I'm like, all right, like that's great, but what is a character like that's wonderful. This happened 40 years ago, but none of it's relevant to the situation right now. So I'll be like, all right, here's this character, here's what he's like, and it's up to you to kind of like bring that inspiration to the character. Usually, as I said, the audition, it's sometimes it's bare minimum, sometimes it's a little too much. When you get the project, then you get a lot more deeper involved with it. There's been a few times, which this is a lot of fun. I did mocapping, which is motion caption. When they put the suit on, they have like all the sensors. Had to shave my beard for all those. It was fun. Yeah,
I didn't know you had to be beardless for that.
Well, because they're putting the sensors on your face, and they have to see everything. So
I hadn't thought about it.
At least for every job, that's what they told me. They could be lying,
Yeah, maybe
you didn't just shave that off.
If you're like Troy Baker, they're like, I guess you could keep your facial hair.
You never know.
They just had a bet to see if they could get you to shave your face or not. They're like, I got $20 as we can get Dattoli to shave his face.
They won every time. I lost. So.
Can I just wear a mask? Can I just?
Yeah, right.
Come on.
That's a question I've got when you're doing an audition, because I've done a couple where you have to record for this character that they give you, and they give you little bare bones there. Like, do you do multiple takes of the same character, or you just land on one that you like the best and send that one?
I like to do multiple takes. So they'll give you like the guideline what they want the character to kind of sound like. So I usually do A, B, A, B. What that means is they give me the script. I'm going to read the lines first in one voice, and then I'll read the scripts again in a different voice. And they give you directions. They'll say like, hey, don't say like, take one this, take one that. Don't say that. Just label the file this way, which they're very strict on how they want you to label the file. It's kind of ridiculous how strict they are. But anyway, and I'll read the character one way, then I'll go like in a lighter voice. I know what I did on a casting call. They have you, submit for one line at a time. At least they used to. They probably changed it. And I'll just try like different lines in different ways. Like maybe I'll try like a deep voice, and maybe I'll try a little higher. If they say, hey, the character's 18 years old, I'm like, all right, a little younger sounding. So I want to go on my higher registry when speaking. And I also position my body certain well. I'm a big thing when it comes to screaming. What I mean by that is like when they have the lines are in all caps or it's exclamation, or you could tell from the scene it's getting pretty emotional.
Yeah.
For the first take, I won't scream. What I'll do is I'll actually lower my voice and I'll just kind of pull myself in a little closer and I'll slow my speech down. That way you're hanging on every word I say. Versus saying, I'm going to pull myself in and scream every single word. That way you can hear this emotion right now. It's just one take. I something go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Some people maybe they want the screams. Unless it specifically says scream here. That's something I'll do. Which they do have it in the line, the breakdown, the script breakdown.
Mm-hmm. I guess something I want to ask that this has been in my mind since playing Resident Evil Requiem recently is, and I don't know if you can answer this because I know you're an adult, but I'm very curious about about.
Curious now. I am super curious about this question now.
No, like there's a character in Resident Evil 9 that is portrayed as a child, but to me it is very clearly an adult recording the voice of that character. Is it a thing where it's difficult to find kid voice actors that are quality? Or is it like kids can't work until they're 18 kind of thing? Like what is the reason for that? Because I feel like I haven't heard an actual kid's voice in a video game in a really long time.
Really? You know what?
I could be wrong, but
any voice acting from any age. I just had to pass on an audition where they were looking for like authentic kid voices from 10 to 14.
Okay.
I'm sorry, from 10 to 12. And I'm like, yeah, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So you know what? That's like the art of playing. I like to call it of, trying to tap into, I guess maybe the character maybe is mentally in the state of a child, but is physically an adult. There was actually for Imago, I play Marty and Arthur, and the character Arthur is basically like a kid doll. And I really had to put my voice high pitched for that. It's probably one of the emotional roles I had to do. Because he's basically like a child. So I would just think back to my childhood, and I would just thank God nobody saw me, but I would act like a kid would do, play pretend. And that's all we're doing. We're all playing. With being a voice actor, you get to play all day.
Right.
So as long as you don't take it seriously, well, you do have to take it seriously for a few things, we're all playing. And as long as you do that, you'll be fine. So I don't know if that answered your question. Sorry.
No, yeah, it's just been curious, and I could be totally wrong. Like, Zach, what did you think? That the character I'm talking about? Did you think that was voiced by an adult?
I did. It did not cross my mind.
No,
okay. Consider, yes, but maybe.
If it's usually like the young boys, they usually have females play it because they have a higher registry than. Like, I know for a fact I will never play a 5-year-old. And I've been asked, and I had to politely decline and say, listen, I really don't want to waste your time. I'm going to be 100% honest.
It's not going to happen.
I'm like, I'll just try. All right. Boy, I really want to go riding on this tricycle. I'm like, I can't.
I'm this many.
Scott, you might be more sensitive to it since you are a teacher of young children. So you might actually just remember what kids sound like.
Yeah.
I was just saying, he just nailed it. Like, this many.
Mom, I need to shut up bourbon.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of like Dickie Robinson, former child star.
Oh, yeah.
Five.
Wow. What a
Holy
pull.
crap, bike. You're 5. Gaga goo goo bike. Too young.
Man, it's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
I was thinking of the episode of SpongeBob where they're blowing down the houses and there's one of the characters and he's wearing like a pinwheel hat, sitting on a tricycle with a lollipop, and he's just like, I can explain.
Yeah. The amount of times people walked into my studio and they see me doing weird things. Now it's kind of like second nature.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So I mean, you're getting in the character, so
Exactly. Yeah.
I got another question from the community. David Newman wants to know, how often are you recording prior to and after cutscenes have been completed? If they have been completed, do you get an opportunity to watch while recording to get a better sense of the scene?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. A lot of times it's sort of like dubbing. You hear like 3 beeps and you just get right into the scene. Usually, like I think only once or twice I was able to see that. Like they gave me an idea because they try to time the lip syncing to the voice to make it really authentic. Yeah, a lot of times it is, they start up with the depending where the game is made, they start with the original language of the game that the lips are synced to, but they really try to time it to like the English dub lips pretty well. Sometimes I do get to see it, which is awesome because it gives me like an idea of like, okay, for Identity 5 or Identity V, I got to see that. I got to see the scene. I'm like, okay, this is what's happening. All right, so it gives me an idea like what you're looking for. All right, or what I'm going for. Then they'll be like, all right, just pick it up. They'll be like, pick it up a little bit, like say it like a tad faster. Okay, let me say these 5 sentences in 2 seconds. Okay, okay, cool. That's just not verbatim, but
yeah. Oh man.
Do you go back and play the games that you voiced in and like hear yourself while you're playing?
Sometimes I did for Imago. I had to stop at one point because I was just blown away. The way like that, I got no. He didn't actually finish parts of the game yet. He actually wanted to hear the voice first, and he actually changed a few scenes based on me and the other actors' voice acting.
That's a compliment.
That was a really huge compliment. And there's one part towards the end I can't because I know the state of mind I had to get into to reach that emotional moment. I have seen it. I did eventually see it last week, and I'm like, man, I can't. It kind of brought back all the emotions going through. Like, wow, I really did break down for that. So got a little teary eyed. I'm like, okay. Identity V, not yet. I know NetEase is a company that made it. Not yet with that. Kansu Fighter, yes. Brigandine, yes. Very like Final Fantasy Tactics type game too. So not as much as I like. Because everyone's like, oh, you should stream my stream. I'm like, I use video games as a way to calm down. If I bring streaming into that, then I got to worry about proper mic setup, camera and everything.
Lighting. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm like, I want to play video games to play.
Yeah.
That's what video games are to me, just to play and relax. I may be screaming at them because I keep dying, but I'm relaxing. I swear to God.
Yep.
So I don't want to turn that into work.
Let's hit some low hanging fruit. What's your favorite project?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Low hanging. That's a difficult question. Not low hanging fruit, man.
It's an easy question. It should have been like one of the first ones we asked.
So it was probably an audiobook I did that it was called, I think, The Full Macintosh, a Scottish Yarn. The reason why it was so difficult is I had to put on somewhere around 18 different dialects and accents.
Oh my goodness.
Like the female was from this part of Ireland. The husband was from this part of Ireland. His best friend was from this part of England. And I had to go for that type of dialect. And the author was very strict on me getting. I mean, I learned a lot of things about like what a ski and do is and things of that nature. But which is like a little dagger they put in the boot. Whenever you go to a parade and they see the bagpipes, if you notice they have like a little dagger in their boot. A little fun fact for you. It's called the ski and do.
All right.
They use that for fighting because bards will go out there when we play music, somebody can attack them. Ha! Way to defend themselves. But anyway,
I can't wait for the Jeopardy clue that brings this up.
Yeah, right.
Ready.
I'll be ready for that one.
Yeah, that was just and after I recorded it, the author listened to it and said, like, hey, listen, you just mispronounced these few words, this dialect wrong. And I say, listen, I'm really sorry. I gave it my best shot. I can't. It's also important to know as a voice actor what your limitations are. And I didn't want the book to sound bad. Like I didn't want to ruin her work. So that's why I had to, pass on that. And it was rough because I would say one line, I'm like, all right, crap, this accent. I had so many files pulled up. I had to bring up another computer to listen to the files. I'm like, all right, this accent sounds like, okay, let me do it again.
Whoa. Wait, speaking of files, Kevin Honigford in the chat asks, when you're doing multiple roles like that, do you record them all on their own individual track or together on one?
Depending. Usually it's together at one. I like to kind of prevent as much editing as possible. So I'll pause, listen to the dialect, and then read the line. I always read ahead so I know what's coming and kind of properly approach myself. But yeah, usually for audiobooks, there is a video game coming up. Unfortunately, I can't talk about it. I was able to, which I was very happy, record the lines separately. That was the first time I did that. And I was very, very happy.
Is it Hive Blight?
How did you know?
He's the Beatles and the Ladybugs.
Right. He voiced all the bugs.
All right, I got one more from the community. Sean Coates wants to know, do you find yourself mostly recording your lines alone, or do you often get to perform scenes with other actors in the booth with you? This kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's on my own. People have different schedules. They only can book them for certain amounts of time. I was very lucky to do one project recently. It's coming out soon. Can't talk about it yet. Where I was with another voice actor, and we just made perfect chemistry.
Nice.
And I wish I could do it in person. I did have to fly out to California for that. But still, like, it was incredible. Like, working with that individual, and we made magic. And if I could do that all the time, that would be incredible. Because again, you make magic, and you just bounce off different things. Where, like, you may veer off the script just a little bit, but it's all authentic. It's natural. You're actually having a conversation.
Right. I mean, even doing this podcast, we used to do this without video. We used to just do audio only. No video. Before the tech, we've been doing this for 13 years, and I remember not only that. But once we went to video, it was like the whole dynamic changed. It felt more personal. And then when you actually get to sit around a table and record together, it takes it even one step further. It just feels like a completely different, I don't know, camaraderie, when you have that close proximity. So yeah, that's really cool.
Our episodes in E3 where we actually get to like meet up and talk. Well, back when there was an E3.
Yeah.
Those episodes were electric.
Like you and I just sitting with a microphone between us, you on your bed, me on my bed, just like talking for like 3 hours about everything we saw that day. I mean, part of it was we were both giddy with excitement that we were there.
Sure.
I'm hoping that's in the hotel room. That sounded really weird. You're in your bed. I'm in my bed.
What are you talking about?
Just a mic between us.
We're talking to a mic. We have to. Scott's got to mute occasionally because his teeth are chattering because I keep it so cold in there.
Oh my goodness, the man does not understand.
It's warm.
I mean, Chris, I went to LA without anything but short sleeve shirts. That's like the right thing to do, right? No, your roommate likes to crank the AC so high that I was like shivering on the height of bed.
I was just trying to coerce him into my bed. Trying to keep ourselves warm.
That's what it was.
All of a sudden, Careless Whisper plays very quietly.
Oh my goodness!
Right?
How did you pack a saxophone in your carry-on?
I'm looking for.
Well, Chris, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for this discussion.
I got one more.
Oh, you got one more. I'm sorry.
Right, another low hanger. In a perfect world, what project would you like to work on?
I know it's over now, but I was a big fan of Steven Universe. Would have loved to have been a guest on there.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I don't know, just a show, like, fell in love with it and always liked it. I was supposed to be in a project, recorded 70% of my lines, and I got recast.
Oh,
It happened to me 4 times.
oh my god!
And
But you,
well,
yeah,
technically 5. There's one on camera too. I won't say what it is, but they were teenagers, and they're led by a rat. So,
that's yeah.
but I lost out
That could
to
be
the
anything.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But I lost out to the original, the OGs, and I'm like, if I had to lose,
Yeah,
No,
well, because
yeah.
then
I
that's
mean-
not your fault. That's just
Right.
that's just bad timing.
I did audition for Morty for Rick and Morty. So I guess it would have to be like I love to be in like a dream project, like I guess it's AAA video game. Love to be in a Resident Evil series. Love to be I could say Jibble Sandwich. From
Sure.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, the Jill
You know what? There was a dream. I fell in love with the game. It was Lunar, Silver Star Story, and Lunar Eternal Blue. They just revamped it with all new voice actors, and I'm like, I would have killed to been in that project.
Yes, somebody call this man.
Right.
So love to be in like the Resident Evil series, the Final Fantasy series, or the Silent Hill series if they're remaking them.
There you go.
Oh yeah, because you're
or
a horror guy.
Even Metal Gear. I would love to work with David Hayter.
Oh,
Dude, you could be a Silent Hill guy. You seem like a guy who could look for a missing daughter in a foggy town for sure.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was great. Thank you to everybody that wrote in with comments. I really do appreciate it. But that's going to do it for this week's The Gaming Outsider. Chris, thank you so much for being our guest. This has been an absolute delight.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast.
Hey, not a problem. Where can our listeners follow you and your work?
So you can go on my website, it's DattoliVoiceovers.com, or you can follow me on any social media, TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook. It's my handles are always the same. It's at Chris Dattoli VO. And I'm the same picture of me pointing to the microphone. Like
you got the one picture. That's all you need.
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
I made them all the same, so that way it's easier for people to find me.
Well, yeah. Would you do us a favor and spell it just so the people that are listening? Because I know
it's authentic Italian. Yeah, absolutely. It's D as in Delta, A as in Alpha, T as in Tango, T as in Tango, OLI. Dattoli.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for listening, everybody. This episode was produced by Kenneth Honigford. All the music that you hear is written and performed by Grant Henry of Stemage and Metroid Metal. His website, as always, is stemagemusic.com, STEMAGE music.com. Please be sure to email us if you have any questions or concerns. Our address is feedback@thegamingoutsider.com. And join us live every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. Chris, you got any parting words or recommendations for us before we get out of here?
Yes, always leave with my parting words. Two phrases that I love. Growing old is inevitable. Growing up is optional. And
I like it.
If you have to put enough thought into your plan B, might as well be your plan A.
I like it. I like
There you
it.
go.
Zach, how about you?
Yeah, no words of wisdom. But I did start Hannibal.
Oh, like
TV
the
show.
Mads Mikkelsen one?
Yeah, from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm only a few episodes in, but I don't want to disparage Anthony Hopkins, but Mads Mikkelsen he's bringing the goods.
Really? Okay.
I
I've
think
heard
he's
good
great.
things.
Yeah, I mean he's doing good. So when he's cooking dinner, and you know what's in the meat, and yet you're like, I would eat it though.
Yeah.
He's that charming.
And that was a network
intense.
show, wasn't it?
You were saying
Unbelievably. I can't believe it.
Really?
Because it is gory, and I'm pretty sure there is I guess maybe it's not. I'm trying to remember now. Was there a nipple? I can't remember. But there are naked bodies like that are just like displayed. It's unbelievable. That was on
I'd
network
remember
TV.
a nipple.
Yeah. You remember every nipple you've ever seen.
As for me,
but anyway, just real quick,
Oh.
last thing. Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne's in this show. No one told me Lawrence Fishburne was in this show. As soon as
I
he
had no
showed up,
idea.
I was like, this show's a banger. Then this is an automatic banger when Lawrence Fishburne walks onto the set.
yeah.
That's
I had no clue. You're making me want to go back and watch this now.
Yeah.
Is that on Hulu?
Morpheus. I don't know what I'm watching on. Amazon
No,
Prime,
okay.
maybe.
Amazon Prime. All right.
Yeah.
I got a quick one. I'm going to see a show at the end of March. I'm going to see a couple bands called Currents and Eras. Era? Ara? Era? Ara?
Era.
Era. But my buddy, one of the buddies that I'm going to see the show with, he does this cool thing where he finds the set list of the show based on previous, cities that they've toured in. And then he makes a playlist of the music on Spotify so that you can like pre-listen to it if you're not familiar with the band. And he sent me the playlist. And one of the opening bands for the show that I'm going to is a band called Aviana, Aviana, that I've never heard of before. And I'm telling you, the first track on this thing hooked me. Now again, this is heavy metal music. But if you like heavy music, check out the first track on their set list is called Father. First track I was in, and it's just really, really good. I am legitimately looking forward to seeing them live. So Aviana, Avina. The song I listened to was called Father, but I've got more. If you want the set list, let me know. I can send you a link for it on Spotify if you'd like. All right, well, that's going to do it. Until next week, I am Scott Clark with Zach Parkerson and Jacob Gunderson, and we are the Gaming Outsider. And remember, there's no such thing as a bad game, just games that aren't for you.
He said my name right.